Show, what an unbelievable week it's been. The Bombers out of this year's final series. Their coach, James Hird, suspended for 12 months. What does it mean for the players going forward? We'll discuss that, and Brendan Goddard joins us live as a special guest.
Oh, yes, BJ Goddard. Hey, speaking of big guests, and none bigger than this man. He's a Brownlow medalist, he's a 3-time Copeland Trophy winner, a 4-time All-Australian Premiership superstar. Dane Swan's on the show.
Got him up and about, Jim. A lot of footy news around too on the coaching front, particularly. Yes. 2 jobs up for grabs at the moment. We'll give you a new name that is emerging stronger and stronger each day, and we'll tell you the new club in the race for Daisy Thomas.
All right, and speaking of clubs that need coaches, the Brisbane Lions certainly need that. Is their big superstar going to play next year? We're going to find out when John O'Brien wanders out.
Street talk, mailbag, legends, all your favourites. It's going to be a massive show. Let's get started. At the beautiful Docklands precinct for a magnificent edition of the Footy Show. And the panel, well, we're going to get to exactly why they're going to look like this, but let's get them introduced first. I just mentioned him, 3-time Premiership superstar of the Brisbane Lions, one of the all-time great power forwards of the modern era. Jonathan Brown is on the Footy Show. Joined from the Hawthorn Football Club by their Premiership superstar and Footy Show favourite, Johnny Crawford. Yes, and that is a panel of 2. Of course, we normally go with a panel of 3, but off the top, an apology for all Richmond supporters and, in fact, all footy supporters. Some bad news this afternoon. It is not finals type missing, but Jack Revolt was to be on the panel, has come down with a very serious back injury that has had him in bed this afternoon, not able to get here tonight, not playing this weekend, but the Tigers fully expect him to be right for their first final. I know that is sad. That is sad. What we might try and do, though, is when Dane Swan wanders out, see if we can't twist his arm to stay.
Look at these Richmond.
Just relax, boys. It'll still be a good show. Just relax. Get up and go home. The man that he's always here has been since day one of the Footy Show. Been a big week for him too. Please welcome the 300-game superstar, John Sammy Newman. Nice shoes you got on there, Force. Hey, nice shoes you've got on with that beautiful suit. What is going on there?
Well, don't draw attention to it.
I am drawing attention because you're so dapper up the top half and you've got... What are you going with?
A hiking wheel.
What's that? What?
Don't look surprised. You said to me...
What?
Seeing as we're going up the Kokoda Trail, have you told anyone that?
Yeah, we are.
Should I have said that?
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, go on.
You said, I don't want you to lag behind. Go and wear the boots in we're getting from... Kathmandu. And you said wear them at every opportunity.
You didn't have to wear them on the show.
Or with a suit. You don't wear them with a suit.
You told me yesterday, wear them all the time.
Well, I don't want you to take them off.
If you hadn't drawn attention to them, no one would have noticed them.
It's a good look.
Now, there we are.
You look hot. He sparks you up.
Wouldn't want to come up the Kokoda with us, would you?
A bit of camping.
And then there were 7. What? And then there were 7
teams.
We've had a Final 4. We had a Final 5 at one stage.
Yeah, we did.
And then we had a Final
6.
And now an 8.
Yes.
And now we've got a Final 7.
Well, we've got a 9.
Why?
Well, 9 goes into 8 all of a sudden. Whoever
It's
finishes
a final
ninth.
7, Gary. And
Now,
if you were the Brisbane Lions or North Melbourne or Carlton,
Yeah.
you wouldn't accept a berth in the
My
finals.
word,
This
you
is where this all started. We rewarded people for failing. Melbourne got rewarded
Boss,
for coming last by getting draft picks.
Ross, it's interesting that you go down this path because we have received, Gary, and we need to be very straight here. We have received a writ that was presented to the Victorian Broadcasting Tribunal on Friday morning of last week, and it reads like this. John Newman, or Sam as he is more commonly known, has had the very serious charge of bringing the Footy show into disrepute levelled against him. The charges are placed on the back, and I'm reading a legal document here,
unbelievable.
on the back of repeated and illogical on-air rambling on the subject of the Essendon Football Club. Culminating last week in 5 minutes of the worst television this country has seen since the bounce wound up. In doing so, I'm reading it here. It says Newman displayed a disgraceful lack of respect for his fellow presenters, especially Damien Barrett, and the wider Footy Show audience. The tribunal has found without prejudice in favour of the charges, and Newman is to receive the following sanctions. And this is where it sharpens up a touch.
How
He
funny
is-
will this be?
He is never again on the Footy Show to 1. Discuss his endless lunches with Stephen Dank. Or 2. The fact that he knows the truth and it will never come out. It will eventually come out, sorry. 3. He's never to stand and repeat the same points until someone in the audience applauds.
Yes. Good one.
Sucked in.
Good point.
4. He is not under any circumstances to mention James Hird's name, but he can wear the large ears when necessary for comical effect. And 5, and this is where it's most important for tonight, Force, when Damien Barrett is on set tonight, Newman must not at any point interrupt Barrett until he's finished, at which time he has 90 seconds to bore the audience senseless for the last time on this subject.
Yes.
And then, I read down the bottom here, in an unrelated charge, Newman is also forbidden from ever singing on television again or appearing without his clothing on. Not for the first time.
What are you clapping at?
I agree.
Not for the first time you have landed us in legal trouble, and we need to take this seriously tonight.
It's legally binding for us.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Is this, the fact that I get nobbled every week and you start to sweat, is it the fact that I might be actually saying something that resonates with
The
most
Victorian
of the football
Broadcasting
public?
Tribunal.
Pardon?
The Victorian Broadcasting
It's the
Tribunal.
VBT.
The VBT. No such thing as the
Yes,
V.
it is.
Oh, my wordy,
My
there
word.
is.
Now, the
It was-
Essendon situation has been massive. It's been huge. It has been worldwide. Have a look at the ABC. The world will be delayed tonight due to Essendon's coverage. Can you believe that, Gary?
I can.
Right around the world.
I can believe that, and of course the media's been camped out at AFL House, out the front of James Hird's house, wherever this story has gone. The media have been there. We did see a photo of James and Tanya Hird. This is how intrusive it got, Jim. James and his wife leaving the hearing,
The hearing
the other
he
day.
had, of course, and that reminded us of a photo we had seen before of Sam and his wives.
Which is which, Foss?
So there he is. He's got the Kathmandu's on. He's ready to go. It's going to be a big
And the
show.
Woodstock suit.
You've got 90 seconds coming up. So
90?
get ready for it, Force.
I think
Really
90 seconds will be enough, Gary.
sharpen it down and make it punchy, all right?
Shut up.
Jonathan Brown joins us. Welcome, Brownie. A lot going on at your club too since we last saw you with Michael Voss. We'll talk about that shortly. But your own body, you've had a few surgeries since the season ended for you. Sadly, too early.
I have, yeah. I had a foot surgery about 2 weeks ago and a knee surgery last Friday. So I've been at home on the couch for 2 weeks. Luckily enough, avoiding all the controversy swirling around our footy club. So I've handed it off to all the other boys. But yeah, body's been fixed up and. You know, hopefully, obviously I won't get to play again this year, but into rehab.
Before we get to the controversy, and I know Gaz wants to ask you questions on that, how many times have you been in surgery since you've been a senior footballer?
I actually was bored the other day, as you know, in the waiting rooms before operations. They make you sit there for about 4 hours, and I thought I'm going to actually count up what I'm up to. I'm actually up to my jumper number 16.
Ooh. 16.
Yeah, so, but anyway, they're all pretty minor stuff. The old grease and oil change I've had at the end of this season. So
Had half your
apart
face
from apart from the head injuries, the facial reconstructions, that's everything else has been pretty minor. I would have thought
But
along the
every
way.
time you have an anaesthetic, it takes you 4 or 5 months seriously to get over it. This could be the reason why you're not as sharp as you once were.
Well, I suppose I've had 2 this year, so 10 months. So I might have to hang the boots up, Sammy. But I'm sure you would have had a few, mate. The way you go.
Yeah, I had most of them when I finished.
What about your knee? Did you get your knee done while you're in there?
Well, I had my knee done. My knee's been crooked for probably 3 or 4 months. So I've been struggling to kick. I actually had to. The only time I'd kick on my right foot was actually in games for the last 3 months. And funnily enough, my goal kicking accuracy was the best it's been in my career. But so maybe that's telling me something. But yeah, it's been crooked and that's been fixed up. So it might be a little bit, at least be enjoyable to kick the ball nowadays.
So did you get that done so you can play next year?
Potentially. I just wanted to make sure my body was in good health before I made a decision going forward. But there's a fair bit happening, mate. We still need a coach. And,
But do you want to coach?
Hey?
You want to coach?
No, I'm saying we need to wait for a coach.
Well, we reckon we're onto
happens.
something, Brownie, because the announcement that Michael Voss, surprisingly, was sacked by the Brisbane Lions. We had some vision of that at the time. And let's have a look at the man who jumps into his seat very quickly. There's Vossi. He's disappointed.
He's
Off
out.
he goes, just been given the news. And look.
Oh, no.
That's right. That's right. It's the big It's one of those Powerade bottles and a big knife I just stuck in Vossi's back. But
Let's talk about that quickly, though, and seriously, because it caught a lot of, well, everyone by surprise. I guess the suspicion was that, and I think we spoke to you at the time, that was that the Brisbane Lions must have had another big fish up their sleeve. To get rid of Michael Voss with 3 rounds to go, there must be an announcement coming pretty quickly. It hasn't come. That man was Paul Roos. That was the suspicion. Now, Roosy said he's not interested in that. Since that time, Angus Johnson now faces a challenge from 2 of the board members that sat with him when that decision was made and have been joined by a very formidable, the most formidable figure in Queensland in Lee Matthews.
yeah, it's obviously been very big. As you can imagine, when Vossi came in and said he'd just been relieved of his duties, I presumed, like everyone else, that Paul Roos must have been signed up, because just the history with it, and I said it a few weeks ago on the Footy Show, that Vossi had told me the process the club was going through and obviously intimated that they'd be trying to make contact with Paul Roos. But then Andrew Hamilton, who's the local AFL reporter up in Queensland, wrote a big articles on the back page of the Courier Mail about 2 weeks after Vossi told me that the board was potentially looking at other options. Wrote a big article that Vossi was going to get another 2-year deal. And obviously Vossi had been talking to me about playing on next year and talking about hopefully getting more coaches. So I presumed, and I think everyone else just presumed, that Vossi was going to get re-signed.
Did Vossi presume that he was going to get... Do you think he had grounds to think that he was going to be re-signed?
Oh, well, not in the aftermath, because he felt that there was a fair bit of silence in the last couple of weeks before he did get relieved. So he probably saw the writing on the wall, but he certainly hadn't told me that and hadn't told the players that. But as it was, they haven't been able to get Paul Roos. They were probably trying to free themselves up to get Paul Roos or get in the race to talk to Paul Roos, but it hasn't worked out. So obviously, whether you agree with it or not, they'd come to the decision that they didn't think Vossi was the man to take us to the next level, and that's probably getting to hopefully a top 4 side, because really that's all you're aiming for, to be a top 4
So
side.
you're disappointed because right now it looks pretty embarrassing for your footy club.
It's embarrassing.
Well, of course it's embarrassing. I thought Vossi had done a pretty good job. And
Did you think he was successful, did you?
Well, no, successful. He wasn't successful yet, but I thought he had the opportunity to be successful down the track. I thought he's done a good job in bringing the younger fellas along. Obviously, Vossi was part of the regime that got Fev and a few of the mature age recruits in 2010, and that's backfired. And there was a lot of people that are responsible for that. That's backfired, so the club had to go back to the bottom of the barrel and rebuild, and Vossi's kept rebuilding and playing the younger players, but obviously the board wanted to move in another direction. They haven't been able to get they haven't been able to get Roosie. So now they've got to go out and find another coach.
So they asked you if Michael Voss should coach next year as the captain of that club, and such a big figure. What would you have said?
Well, they asked me. Angus asked me how Vossi was travelling. I said he'd done a good job. He'd been doing a good job this year, and I was supporting him continuing on the coach. I was hoping he would stay on as coach. So but that's only my personal opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of other players and people involved with the footy club that they're going to get opinions off, and they're going to form their own opinion. And look, they've made their decision, so now we have to move forward. And they've got the coaching panel in place.
And one of those panellists is the great Lee Matthews, who is also running on the ticket to oust the board that placed him on that panel.
Yeah, well, that's right. But at least, look, at the end of the day, we still need day-to-day running of the footy club to continue on. And most important is we need to get a senior coach in place. So even though there is a bit of conflict at board level, at least they're still moving in the right direction by putting a subcommittee in place to get a coach. I think, Lee, we need some football knowledge. There's certainly been a knock on the board that we didn't have enough footy knowledge on the board, but it's very difficult up in Brisbane. There's not people lined up around the block like they are in Melbourne to be on the boards of AFL clubs, okay? You've got to remember the rugby union, rugby league are the major sports up there. It's very difficult to get people to voluntarily go on the board up there. So the guys have put in a lot of effort.
We've created history tonight. This is the first time ever since Shane has been on that the bloke sitting on his left, he's got more intelligence than the bloke he's got more intelligence than the bloke sitting next to him.
On his left.
That's the chair.
Very much. Now, you're without your leadership on the field, your teammates are getting ahead of themselves. We have a look at Dane Zorko and the way he was celebrating. Have a look at this handshake. What is going on here? That wouldn't happen if you were out on that field.
No, they've lost control, the boys. As I said, I've been on the couch for 2 weeks, but that was just after Vossi had moved on, and the boys wanted to build a bit of enthusiasm after goals, and the forwards come up with a bit of a plan to recreate the old World Series cricket celebrations after a dismissal. So instead of getting carried away, they thought they'd go in the opposite direction.
Contain it.
I can't believe that they wouldn't be lining up to be part of the Brisbane Lions. You say it's a rugby league stronghold. It's the #1 sport in Australia. Surely there's some
People? What are you doing, mate? We're going to get on with this. We're going to go to the Sydney Swans, who are taking on the Mighty Hawks. Friday night, this is going to be huge. It's good to see the Swans struggled a bit last week. Hanbury goes out. It's going to be an interesting game, and Jude Bolton, who's going to retire when the season is over, has been a wonderful player. Biggs comes in for his very first game. Well done. And we have a look at the Mighty Hawks, who are going up there. Weira goes out, Rioli goes out, Shields goes out. Franklin found a bit of form last week. Hodge was very good after half-time. Lewis missed last week. He comes in, and I've just got a feeling the Hawks are going to really get themselves going for this. And I'll tell you what, if they win, they'll play Sydney the following week. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
How should Sydney approach it?
Oh, well, I'd just lay down a bit and take it very easy and come out the following week and have a real crack, wouldn't you?
You're an idiot. That's not what you said.
What did I say?
You told me they should choose big bodies who are prepared to crash in and smash them all night and see if they can't soften them up.
They wouldn't hurt the Hawthorn players.
That's what you told me.
I did not.
You did so.
You're making that up.
No, not
This
so
is
you're
not
tipping,
the Big Brill House.
Who are you tipping?
Stop lying. I'm tipping the Hawks to win easily.
Yeah, we know Sydney's record's not as good at ANZ Stadium. I think the Hawks will go up there and win that one. Couple of big key injuries to the Swans.
Now, can I just say, last week we saw some wonderful players return. Paul Chapman, who had a very good game, and his teammates really got around him after a goal, which was great to see. We saw Alan Didak, who we love. His teammates got around him. We saw Jack Revolt, who kicked a few goals. His teammates get around him. And then, there they are, saying well done. And then we see big Jared Rufford, who kicks and hits the front for the Coleman medal. And where are my teammates? Guys, hello! I'm leading the Coleman medal. No, mate's Ruff.
We need a bit of World Series cricket there, mate.
Oh,
That's
really?
what we need, the celebration, mate. The handshake.
Forsell, no Cyril Rioli in this side too, Gary, which is interesting. Coming into the finals, what do you think's happening?
Prestige. There must be people with prestige that want to be on the Brisbane Lions board, not people.
Well, if you ask Jimmy, there's a lot of hours
taking him
going,
5
and
minutes.
it is on a voluntary
People have
basis.
to Swank around and pretend
You've got to
they're
understand,
important.
Sam, I know you live in your little bubble down here,
That's
but
true.
rugby league
Yeah.
is definitely the #1 sport
Take
up
that.
there, okay?
I said Australian rules is the #1 sport in Australia.
That's right, not in Queensland.
Tip, Samuel.
Well, that's part of Australia.
That's right, but not in Queensland.
Swans.
Swans. I'm going to go for the Hawks, and then we'll look forward to the first final the following week.
It's a legitimate game, Gary.
I beg your pardon?
This is a legitimate contest. as opposed to some of the games that we'll discuss which won't be.
Okay, we'll get to them shortly. Dane Swan out next on The Footy Show.
Tonight on The Footy Show, with 5 teams still a chance to sneak into the 8, we preview a massive final round of footy. And to talk up the pies at the pointy end, Collingwood superstar Dane Swan will swing by, live.
What are you saying here? That if you squash the rugby, get twice as many?
Well, say there had been 500 chips in the pack before it. Now cannon and
I'm a salt and vinegar man, Swanee. Also, BJ Goddard joins us to provide the player's perspective on a tumultuous week at Windy Hill. Sam has a deal for the locals in Ackland Street, St Kilda.
Pull the leg of your pants out, give us a look at your plum.
Big Purple serves up a feast of footy news. Plus, music's long been linked with footy. And tonight, we reveal how one of our own cast members is continuing the tradition. Sharp, all that, and Sam saying...
What?
Tonight on The Footy Show.
What?
Oh, thanks very much to Nissan Navara, Home Timberland Hardware and sportsbet.com.au. Great friends of ours on The Footy Show, and we appreciate their support again in 2013. Now, time to welcome a very special guest to The Footy Show. I said off the top, this man's career has been quite simply extraordinary. 3 Copeland trophies, B&Fs at the Collingwood Footy Club, 4 All-Australians. He's a Brownlow medalist, of course, a premiership superstar, and one of the more intriguing figures in our game. We love him. Welcome Dane Swan to The Footy Show.
Hey, Swanee.
Looking magnificent, Swanee.
Yeah, sharp. Suit and shoes, unbelievable.
I actually did have the jeans and thongs on, but I'm over there a bit later, so I like to suit up.
You going to hang around? Jack Revolt, late withdrawal? You going to fill his shoes?
Yeah, mate, I'll second
You'll
place
step
tonight,
up.
mate. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll fill his boots.
Ah, very nice, Season's going well, mate. The Maggies aren't going to finish in the top 4, which would have been your preference, but the form line's been pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Obviously, everyone aspires to finish in the top 4, but unfortunately we didn't get there. We dropped a couple of games, that we probably should have won, but someone eventually is going to win it outside the top 4, so no reason why it can't be us this year.
And the lineup has changed enormously, Swanee. If you look at the team you'll play on the weekend to this time last year even, I reckon there's 7 or 8 new faces.
Yeah, there's a few. I haven't done the math, but there's clearly a couple. But
Kennedy and Grundy for a start, who are both very talented young men.
So Marley Williams.
Yep.
I think it's another one. Sammy Dwyer.
Josh Thomas.
The
The Seed.
Paul Seedsman. Sorry if I've forgotten anyone else, but they're all going really well.
But it is a terrific sign that you can still be playing as well as you are as a club, having introduced that many new players.
Yeah, I think Bucks has been great. He's throwing the young kids in. I think they're developing great, and they're all holding their own. They're keeping other people out, which is good for us.
You're a lateral man, Dane, obscure, a little bit diverse. Do you actually own a suit? Your thongs is your standard garb as far as feet wear goes? Have you feel uncomfortable just in this?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
What would you preferably like to come out in? Just
jeans and a t-shirt, some thongs or something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you've, I'm sorry, just...
No, speak, go away.
Thanks
go.
very much.
There
And I noticed the last time you were on, we could actually see some of the skin on your hands, but now they're completely obliterated with... what have we added this time round, Dane?
Just got a couple of pictures and some words on my fingers. But
And what do the words, what do they say? Do they represent anything?
no, they don't represent much. It just says the good life. So that's something that I try and lead. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's
And
about
how
it.
is your life going? Is it
Good.
travelling well?
No, my life's going all right. I can't complain, mate. So
You've stuck a small snout ring in since last time I met.
no,
Is that always there?
yeah,
You
it
must
hasn't
have sat on
always
the
been,
other
has
side
it?
here the last
Yeah.
time you were here.
No, it has been there since the last time.
I see.
Not a fan.
No, mate. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of any of it, but but that's my generation, and this is avant-garde. This is bohemian stuff, mate. This is out there, and the hairstyle. It's just I've never ever experienced stuff like this ever before. And I'm enjoying it. It's eye
Get
candy.
around it.
Hey, Swanee, AFL season's a long year. this time of year you get excited, I would imagine, because the final's around the corner. But are there times throughout the course of the year where you do look towards the end?
Yeah, of course. Day one of pre-season's usually that day 2 and day 3. But yeah, of course, during the cold winter months, you look a little bit to the end. But we know footy's a tough game, and you got to play each week on its basis. And I think we probably learned that this year, where we dropped a couple of games. We know where we shouldn't have, but in saying that, we're here now, so I suppose we can start to get a little bit excited.
Now, Dane, your coach, Nathan Buckley, prepares like no one else, and we love you on Twitter, and you posted this. Have a look at this. On the way to Sydney, on the flight, good to see our coach and assistant plotting the downfall of the Swans on the trip up. How did he take that when he saw it on Twitter?
He told me I was going to be the sub, so not real well. But no, thankfully we won that week, and yeah, Bucks was pretty good about it. But I just happened to put my seat back and caught him catching a couple of Z's, so I thought I'll get him here. So it's pretty hard to get him, so he slipped up, so I got him.
Well, Dane, I do this with trepidation, but I went over to Perth with the great Craig Hutchison.
Yeah.
At the end of last year, we went up to Wickham, where it was 48 degrees for a function. And Craig, you think I've made this up and this is doctored, but I hope he's not watching. He nodded off in the plane opposite
Bucks.
me.
Like Bucks.
Like Bucks, but I think Bucks probably looked a fraction sharper than Craig. This is a snap.
That's in the off-season, Hutchison.
He just eaten a bison and had 8 litres of claret to wash it down with that. He was feeling a little bloated, and I got him at a bad moment.
He trains off a bit in summer, Hutchie, but he comes back.
The pillow that you put behind your head, he must have stuffed it in his t-shirt, surely. Hey, Swanee, we did notice with Alan Didak back, and every Collingwood supporter loved seeing him, that you all, speaking about getting around him, you all did, but I love this too. Here's the great man, and then just, there you go. Take that, run in and kick a goal just so you feel nice and welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if it had been anyone else, I probably would have looked the other way and went back and had a ping. But no, I think everyone knows how we care for Dids at the Footy Club. And I'm obviously a good mate of his, and it was obviously great to see him back. I think everyone's seen how much we appreciated him back by everyone getting around him. But Bucks has made him earn it, and he certainly has. He's been back in the VFL and been great. Done everything he's asked of him, so he finally got his chance, and he certainly did himself no harm for the next 5 weeks.
He's a member of the pack, isn't he?
Yeah, mate, he's one of the inaugural members. Absolutely.
How many you got in the Rat Pack at the moment?
Tazza obviously left last year. Benny Johnson decided to leave us halfway through. Yeah, so they're slowly starting to go, but we've got obviously Dids and Heath. We're probably Will the main rats, if you will. But
what about the young group? Are there any potential rats?
Yeah, we do see a little bit of promise in a couple. No one's been into big enough trouble yet to really to come over, but it's a little bit of fun, and we have a little bit of fun with it.
So can he drift in and out, or the big man?
Clokey's actually in a thing called the Beaks. In a motorcycle gang with his beaks, and Cameron Woods, and he drives a postie bike. That's dead set. So he's him, Tyson Goldsack, Alan Tuvey, and Cameron Wood call themselves the Beaks. So there's a little bit of so they're kidding a bit. But
Brodie Grundy, what about the young man that's the last 6 weeks just taken over the number 1 ruck spot? He's got a look about him that might suggest he could wander in there.
Yeah, well, his locker's next to mine, so I'm always up to try and recruit a couple, and slowly been putting some time into him. So he's certainly got potential. But
how good is he as a footballer?
Very good. Probably too good to be in the Rat Pack, I would have thought. But no, he's going to be great. He's obviously his follow-up and stuff's probably a little bit more important. He gets around the ground really well, and he's probably keeping Joel's out of the side at the moment, so he's obviously doing his job.
What are you looking at?
Well, you're in the Wolf Pack.
That's a one-man wolf pack.
Now, this is a question without notice. Could you name the original Rat Pack? Do you know how the Rat Pack... Do you know who was in the Rat Pack?
Sammy Davis.
Well done.
Dean Martin.
Dean Martin. Well done.
Frank?
Frank. You won't
Frank
get the other two.
Sinatra,
Bert Newton and Graham.
Who are they, Force?
Joey Bishop
Oh, yeah,
and
Joe.
Peter Lawford, who married...
Lawfo.
Law. Bish and Law.
Hey, Swanee, you're here all night, which is fantastic, so we can talk to you throughout the night. I just wanted to get your thoughts on your own year, because your form has been unbelievably good, and we compared it to your Brownlow year. We had a good look at it, and it stacks up in almost every category.
Jeez.
So I know that Gary Ablett is a red-hot favourite. Joel Selwood's made a very good run. And I do expect you to tell us how you reckon you'll go, because those numbers are very, very impressive.
Yeah, I suppose if you look at the other two guys' numbers you just mentioned, they're well and truly heads and shoulders above that, and probably so Scott Pendlebury. So I'm probably fighting out for the minor placings, if anything. So, my form has been okay, I suppose. You know, my last half of the year has probably been a bit better than my first half, but I think Gaz will be pretty hard to chase down from here.
A jump-in poll, get stuck into that. You can vote for Ablett, Swan, Selwood or another if you wish to do it, or she's a big game, Swanee, Sunday, of course. So I know your thoughts on it, but let's get who's doing this game. Shane,
Yeah, we're going to have a look at it. We're going to have a look at Collingwood taking on North Melbourne. MCG Sunday, 3:20. Make sure you're there. Ball goes out. They're going to rest him, get him ready for the finals. Russell, Hudson, Beams and Martin come in, and they're playing wonderfully well at the moment. The Pies can certainly cause a bit of trouble in September. And North Melbourne, your mob, Jim.
Yes, but
There's still a chance for the finals. Adams comes in, McMahon, Joel Garner comes in, Goldstein's on fire, and Daniel Wells is having a sensational year. Very much a chance to still make the finals, but I don't think they'll beat the Pies. The Pies are red hot at the moment.
Yeah, they're going really well. It's Nathan Brown's been holding up down back really well, allowed Ben Reid to go forward, which has strengthened up their forward line. It's been a key to their success the last few weeks. I reckon they'd certainly be a smuggy for the premiership if they had a full list, Collingwood, that's for sure. What about Brady Grundy, Swanee? Can he hold up in September? Obviously, you need big body ruckman in September. Darren Jolly's there. What's going to happen going forward?
I think it'll probably just be, week by week. If Brody keeps holding his end up and performing as well as he has been, well, I can't see, there's no reason for him not to be playing. But, that'll probably be up to the match committee if they feel like he's getting tired or they need to bring in a seasoned campaigner like Joel's. That'll be completely up to them.
Oh, it'll be exciting for us. If we get to Sunday and the results have finished the right way, then this game is an elimination final. The Kangas win, they get into the finals.
This is a non-game, Jimmy.
How is it a non-game?
I'll tell you how it's a non-game. You have failed to make the finals on your merits, and so have the Brisbane Lions, and so have Carlton. And if Collingwood can't improve their position, this is a non-game.
If you're in, you're in. You're playing.
No.
Doesn't matter how it happens.
No.
You're just in.
Think about the 7 sides that have paced themselves over the year. A big
Don't worry about them.
That'll be a glass half empty
Next
operator.
week, next week there's going to be 8 teams in playing finals.
That's
footy.
it.
That's the bottom line.
There's going to be 7 legitimate sides.
Yeah, and
playing.
one lucky
And
one.
I tell you, I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised the Kangaroos beat Collingwood.
I had a good look at it as well. I was going to go to the Kangas, but Scott Thompson, who may very well be the All-Australian fullback, not playing. And that means that Big Trav Cloak and Ben Reid might just get a hold of you, Jimmy. So I'm going for the Maggies in a very, very close game. Hey, Swanee, before we send you over to the other side, Copeland Trophy's on the week after the grand final, I think. Probably Thursday or Friday night.
1,000 people they get.
Well, without trying.
Week after the grand final.
Yeah, they always have it after the grand final. And then the day after, you just take off. You've got to get away and have a spell. Give us a bit of a snapshot of what the off-season has brought. And take your time.
Yeah, well, we could be here a while.
Write these down, Force.
Right. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to head into the States first, just for a little bit of R&R.
Whereabouts?
Queensland.
A couple of better breakfasts and just relax. And,
West Australia.
Yeah. No, I'll head to the west coast of America.
US of A.
Yeah, absolutely.
those states.
Yeah, jot that down.
Start at the west coast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
and
west
then
coast.
I'm going to head off to Europe.
Europe.
I'm going to go see a couple of DJs in Amsterdam. Tiesto and Calvin Harris.
Good, Gary.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
Would it be worth following you around with a handheld camera, Dane, or just to get a bit of reality TV?
DJs,
Yeah, and
then
then I'm going to go see Jay-Z in Belgium.
Oh, yep.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Good chocolate.
That Jay-Z, isn't it?
Absolutely. And then,
Jay-Z, how he rolls.
And then any more after that?
yeah, I'm just going to float around and
On a ship? Going on a cruise? Just going on a cruise.
Yeah, all good.
yeah, just float around for a little bit and
Mediterranean
and come home, and then might head back to Bali.
What sort of condition do you reckon you'll be in when you arrive? When you arrive, you need a walking frame and a chair, I
Hey,
reckon,
Foss,
to get... Yes?
when you used to, back in the day, finish the season, where did you get to in the off-season as a AFL
Well,
footballer?
every year we used to go down to the caravan park at Tootgarook and just have a couple of barbies.
Concert, DJ?
Hey,
A concert,
do a little
DJ?
sailing, a little whittling on the beach there. And never moved out of that general area down the...
That would have been big in the day.
was huge, Gary. Don't chortle. Don't
Snorkel.
Pull on a pair of those really high dick stickers that you used to have in
That's
the
it.
surfers.
dick
Where they got
stickers.
That's it.
Gary, that's how you wore board shorts.
Oh,
in
around
those-
your neck.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I remember Midge Farrelly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Midge Farrelly was a top surfer back in the 60s.
Is that who you modelled yourself
He
on?
said, pull them up high, get the camel toe going.
I think it's referred to as a moose knuckle now. We need to get to a break. On the other side of it, we're going to have Dane Swan as a valued panellist, and we're going to get Sam's mailbag underway.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Damien Barrett along very shortly with all the latest footy news. But I can tell you, Father's Day on Sunday and Home Timber Hardware, not only where the tradies go, but where dads love to go too. Force will be down there treating us something special this Father's Day with a gift you really love. Check out Home Timber and Hardware's Father's Day deals and the latest catalogue out now. Find the perfect DIY dad gift for under $50, under 20 and even under $10. With all the latest tools, service and advice, it's a store of choice for all DIY dad hardware needs. Go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware, great supporters.
Well done. Now, Gary, Father's Day, we've got a very beautiful photo here of Jonathan Brown with his beautiful little boy Jack. Have a look at that. Isn't that
There he
beautiful? Taking him to the footy. That's
Get
what
the footy,
Father's
Brad.
Day is all about.
He spewed all over me this morning. He's no good. I've thrown him back.
Let me tell you, that's a lot safer than the way Shane transports his children around. He put this on Twitter. They're in the boot. Have a look. Got a beautiful lab and the 4 kids are just making their own arrangements.
Olivia's changed. Oh,
Shane, behave. On that inappropriate note, it's time for Sam's mailbag.
I wrote this down. He's going himself over there. He's going to the States, starting on the West Coast, then going to Europe, going to see a DJ in Amsterdam, going to meet Jay-Z.
Z. Jay-Z.
Oh, ZZ. Going on a cruise on the Mediterranean.
I don't know if he's doing that.
Isn't he?
They say he's just floating around.
Floating around.
Oh, so I see. And then going to Bali.
That's it.
And we were thinking, the Footy Show, we think you're going on a bus trip up to Dalesford just to have a... Now this is from Adam of Launceston. My son Tyler looks a bit like John O'Brien. We've had quite a few comments at Auskick. I want a test done. This is Brownie as a kid.
Yeah, Brownie.
Is that Tyler or Brownie?
Yes, that's little Tyler.
Oh, I see.
Looks like him.
My cousin also looks like Brownie. And so does so does my uncle's coin jar.
That's
But that's after Brownie was
That's a
mangled.
progression of my career, mate. The
That's
first
right.
little
That's
fellas when I was
after
18.
you had your head mangled.
That's right.
The jar actually reminds me of Gazman, to be honest. Pretty good, isn't it?
It is.
Really sharp. Now this is, you see, we're not by. We read them all out. This is from, I don't know, what would you say that name is? Chess Bar. What is that?
Cheshire.
Do you know? Can you see that from here? Chesper. Do you know that? Who said Chesper?
Cheshpa.
Well, what sort of name's Chesper? It hasn't got a vowel in it.
I don't know what it has. It's got an E there.
It's got
That
an
lady
E.
says she knows. Is it Cheshire? Say it again. She's gone mute.
Chesper of Melbourne. I've never watched the Footy show in my life, says Chesper. But my invalid mother is staying with us, and for the first time in my life, I've been forced to watch this inane nonsense. You can't be serious that this is prime-time television. Your fans clearly have precious little to do with their time. I hope to God, says Chesper. My mother's health improves soon because, seriously, I can't watch another episode. Well, Chesper. What's that?
No, just carry on.
Right behind you.
Just don't engage the audience.
Oh, sorry, Gary. Chesper, we actually spooled through some old footage of the Footy show just to see if we were as inane or as stupid as Chesper thinks, and this is it.
I was impressed with it. Jeepers!
He's got a point, Gary.
I think she's on to something.
He's got a point. Let's hope he's... You don't have to watch the show when your invalid mother's like...
Well, she likes it, obviously.
That's right. Well, let's hope she...
Keeps watching, yes.
Yeah, and that means she keeps living.
That's it.
Yeah. From Bobo, Boo-Boo, of Southport, Queensland. Bobo? Are you going to release your... Sammy, are you going to release your new album on iTunes? Did you know you can also release videos on iTunes? Here are some concepts you might like to run with. This is Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, look at Miley go.
And Clive Palmer twerking. Julian...
What?
Yeah, that's
That's
a
not
twerk.
Clive Palmer.
This is...
That's it.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Julian
This
Assange.
is Julian Assange doing John Farnham.
Yes.
I've actually had a crack at doing John Farnham.
have, and we're very good too.
Yeah, I was very good.
Very good.
John Farnham wasn't too happy because we dressed up and made him look fat, and he said he wasn't that fat. But he's a great talent, of course.
And a great man.
Got the
Sam,
brace.
do you want me to do it now?
What?
This.
What's that, Shane?
This.
What is it?
It's a world exclusive right here.
Yeah,
And this
what
is for
what
real.
is it of, Shane?
Well, you know,
It's why Swanee's going overseas. to
you
get
asked
away
me
from
to
this.
put this on.
All right, go on.
What is it?
You want me to play it?
Yeah, well, come on.
Would you like me to play it?
Yes.
All right.
What is it?
This is Sam's.
That's not me.
Yes, it is.
Wait,
You told me to put it on.
I-
That is legitimate. That is serious. That is a world exclusive.
That is it. Yeah. And
This is the new album.
well, it's out a fraction early. It's not available till September the 13th.
Swanee, a man of music, going to travel all around the world to hear music. What do you think of
Take
that?
it to JZ.
Absolutely. Well, yeah.
I'll be able to come to Amsterdam with you, and
I'll come to your concert, mate. Absolutely. I'll get around you.
Now, this is serious, and you can get it out in the next few weeks, and that was legitimate. And here is the album cover.
You want to be involved in Sam's Mailbag? GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria, 3001 Sam's Mailbag at 9.com.au. West Coast Eagles take on the Adelaide Crows, and these two sides. They also can make the final, Samuel, believe it or not. If things go their way, the Eagles, Selwood, Turnbridge, Emily come back into the side. Dalziel, Schofield and Shepherd have been omitted. They went down to the Maggies by 60 points. They're not ready to play finals. The Adelaide Crows, on the other hand, smashed the Eagles by 68 points. Wright comes into the side. Petrenko goes out. Scott Thompson back to his very best. Young man there, Johnston, kicked 6 goals. Did a very nice job, boys. Very quickly, I don't think they can make it, these two sides. I'm not sure they will. Who's winning?
I think Adelaide will win. What do you reckon, Swanee?
Then I think West Coast to win because they'll beat Adelaide.
Tight game, Brownie? What do you
Yeah, I think Adelaide will win this one. They've got a bit more to play for.
think? Of course.
This is a non-game, so non-game.
Not Timmy?
No.
Hey, just quickly, Andrew Embley announced his retirement this week. He will play game number 250.
Yeah,
What a
well
great way to say farewell to footy. Been an absolute star. Medal Smith medalist, the whole box and dice. So well done to Embers and I think the Eagle. No, I think the Crows won.
Speaking of people who have been stars, this man has dominated the news landscape all year, mate. Damien Barrett, very welcome, please.
Guys, tonight a real smoky is emerging in the coaching space. It's Sydney Swans assistant coach Lee Tudor. He's a live chance in both the coaching vacancies at Brisbane and Melbourne. He will be interviewed next week by the Brisbane Lions team, seeking to find a replacement for Michael Voss. We believe Melbourne will also be seeking to speak to him very soon. His current club, Sydney, they're encouraging this move, and they actually do want him to explore all the options that will be in front of him. His CV is as good as anyone's going around when it comes to assistant coaching. Premiership involvement at both Geelong and Sydney, and also spent time beneath Ross Lyon in the grand final years at St Kilda. His main challenge at this stage anyway for the Brisbane job is Rodney Eade. He has been spoken to by Melbourne, interviewed very, very well there. He too, like Tudor, next week will be interviewed by the Brisbane Lions. And Adam Simpson, a bit similar to Lee Tudor in the assistant coaching ranks and unproven at senior level, is emerging along with Tudor as the main men who are involved in these vacancies for positions. And John Worsfold, just a little bit of a watch this space on him. If West Coast choose to part company with him, he will become a contender at Brisbane. Jeff Garlett, guys, 39 goals for the year, missed last week, and it was for disciplinary reasons that we can reveal tonight. He played in the VFL. The reason for it, the previous week when he was injured, he was meant to attend the game as a spectator. His version of events was he got to the ground, couldn't find a car park and went home. Now, it sounds pretty innocent, but the leadership group has acted pretty savagely on that particular decision he made, forced him out of the seniors last week, made him play VFL, and as we know, they lost the game. They were expected to win against Essendon, and he's their goal kicker of 39 goals this season. Missed the game because of the leadership group looking upon unfavourably at that action last week.
Not finding a car park.
Not finding a car park.
So if he doesn't get into the grand final.
Sam, you'll get your 90 seconds pretty soon. It's been another tumultuous week at Essendon, as we know. The Asada investigation, that's still hanging over the players' heads. We keep hearing that November is the day and potential month that could come down for them. So there's still a few nervous weeks ahead for the players on that front. Joe Watson, the captain tonight, has spoken at a charity function, a Learning for Life charity function. It's a charity for kids with autism. He's been quite open at this function tonight, and as you're about to see here, he, like a few other people at the Essendon Footy Club, are contemplating Mark Thompson as coach, but he's just got a few little observations to make about Mark Thompson and the reasons why he left Geelong a few years ago.
I think that Bomber left Geelong because he didn't want to be a senior coach anymore, and now it's his decision to make if he wants to step back in that role. But I think that the reason he left Geelong was because he didn't feel as if he could invest what he knew required to be successful as a senior coach. Now, if that's changed for him over the last 2 or 3 years, I'm not sure. That's a decision he's going to have to make.
That's Joe Watson only moments ago at a charity function at Docklands. We can tell you tonight that not all senior players do want Mark Thompson as coach. It's not actually a criticism of Thompson, it's just that they have felt that over the time at Essendon he's deliberately disengaged from the absolute cut and thrust of the weekly involvement with the club, and they just feel, and it's not to a man, but there is a voice amongst that group, Gaz, that they would possibly prefer to look outside him as being the senior coach. They want him part of what they do going ahead, but they're just not sure about him on all levels.
It's hard to fill an interim position if it's not Mark Thompson, to attract another coach to come for a year knowing that James Hurd's coming back and has had his contract extended for 2 years. So personally, I think he's the only one that can keep some continuity in the way that they play, obviously been involved over the past few years. So I think if Bomber can get his head around it, he'll be coaching the Bombers.
As we know, on Tuesday, the AFL wrapped up the case against 3 individuals at Essendon and the club itself, which left Bruce Reid, the doctor, to have his case heard today. 4 hours of talks with the AFL effectively amounted to nothing, and he, as we speak tonight, is still contemplating taking this matter to the Supreme Court. There's a lot to play out on that front as we speak. Sam.
Is this where we invoke the 90-second
No,
clause?
Before we do that, are you contemplating? means that he hasn't made the decision. I thought with the news that came out today that it was definitely being marched into the Supreme Court.
Look, the AFL will be keen to get him back in one more time at least, JB. He wants an independent hearing on it. The AFL has, as they did with the other individuals, didn't want that to be the case. They're the governor of the sport. They want to hear it. Look, he is contemplating, and the AFL does want to get him back in at least one more time.
All right, Force. This is the Victorian Broadcasting Tribunal.
The VBT.
90 seconds.
Doesn't start now. I'm just wanted to say this.
Oh, is this part of the 90?
Break out.
No, this is not started at number 90. Now, the 3 shows we do on this channel, Sunday Footy Show and your very popular show, Footy Classified, and this show, we outrate all the other shows on television put together for one good reason. We are fair and balanced, and we give the other side of things. And my great friend and colleague who I admire and respect, we have a difference of opinion, but this is not about a difference of opinion tonight. I wasn't going to say anything until... Yes, all right.
Now?
Oh, timing me, are you?
Well,
90 seconds.
Or 100 words.
We don't want to be impressed.
This is a
No,
legal...
well, so I wasn't going to say anything until that provocative headline came out in the paper today about horse tranquilisers and injections.
This is the front page of the Herald Sun.
That's right. And it just gives the arrogant, pompous Luddites who shriek into microphones and go to word processors more oxygen to peddle out stuff they actually don't really know what they're talking about. Now, that's not to say I know what I'm talking about, but we'd like to try... and give the people involved, and that's why I speak to people like Stephen Dank, and it is to say that they are experimenting with players. They mightn't have done it in Australia, what they are doing at Essendon or what they did, but it's been done overseas for a long time, what they've been doing about sports medicine and supplements.
Have you spoken to Stephen Dank?
I have spoken to Stephen Dank because I like to try and get both sides of the story. I'm not a backer of his. I'm not beholden to him. I just like to try and to say that he has been mixing a cocktail of drugs, what does that mean? That is just a salacious comment that tries to sway people that they're illegal. They may not be illegal. They may be, but that hasn't been approved in this. So I rang Stephen Dank.
Bringing dialogue into it.
This is a text I got back from
so
Stephen
this is a
Dank.
response from
Now,
Stephen
I'll just
Dank.
show you that. We're not making this up. I don't know which camera you'd like to hold. See
Bring it
Stephen
forward a
Dank
bit
at the
more.
top? I don't
Righto,
know if you
there
can
it
see
is.
that.
This is
Right,
his
yeah.
response,
This is
yeah?
what he says.
Okay.
The article this morning was factually inert on a number of bases. The fact that the author had these texts will now be the subject of criminal investigation. They were released, like the AFL are selectively leaking documents to the complicit press.
Read.
This information is now being passed on to the appropriate authority for such investigation. The area of therapeutics discussed represents a cutting-edge area of therapeutics used in human orthopaedics in the United States for the last 10 years. The author of that article will face a number of defamation proceedings, and this will be one. The seriousness... Jesus, someone's rung me. The seriousness of the actions against her... The seriousness of the actions against her will be seen as these actions commence. Now, he is
that's his response?
That's his response. He has taken exception to the fact that these salacious statements keep coming out. I don't know if they're right or they're wrong,
be
but he
surprised.
deserves...
Yes, you know,
And could I just finally say this? No, could I finally say this?
Well, you've got...
I'll just repeat again. James Hird and the Essendon Football Club never, ever suggested that Dank or Robinson or anyone do anything illegal, and up until now, Dank has said that they have not. And this is where it is at the minute, and I think it's good to get a balance of both sides.
Nicely done. All right, so well done. We have worked out that we think the phone call came from the VBT. He went over the
4:07
minutes
minutes into his 90 seconds.
Damo, before you go, you got one more.
Yeah, Stephen Dank could actually tell all of that to Asada if he so choose to, Sam. But Daisy Thomas's...
Good point.
Daisy Thomas's future's been a debate all year. We know he's considering it. We know that he's gone away to Fiji to consider it. We know that he's entrenched at Collingwood. We also know that the Carlton offer will come and it will be tempting. We can also add tonight the name of Hawthorn to the mix, to which Daisy will be contemplating. They're certainly interested in him. We believe it's actually dependent on Buddy Franklin exiting the club and taking the GWS offer, which would allow Hawthorn to fully explore the Daisy Thompson option. But it is Daisy Thomas option, and it is an option for him come free trade period.
Swanee, before we go, is he a member of the pack?
He's a sneaky member.
I don't know whether you speak to him about his future. Where do you think he'll be next year?
Must feel nice to be wanted, though. Absolutely, but I think he'll stay with us. We don't like fellow members of the pack unless he wants to start a new chapter at Carlton or at Hawthorn or something like that.
Could he still be a member of the pack could he still be a member of the pack if he went to another club?
As I was just saying,
unless
he wants to start a new chapter at another club for us.
Sorry, pardon me.
Something like that. But I would hope he would stay with the Pies. And
Alex Fasolo?
I have no idea.
Alex Fasolo, would he be? Why am I saying
Pack
him, Gary?
member.
A pack member?
People who talk about themselves in the third person probably don't get into the rap pack.
Alex third person himself.
Hey, we need, before we say goodbye to our great newsbreaker, and he has dominated this season, don't worry about that.
Broke the biggest story of
no doubt about it. But Gary, I'm just noticing him sporting an electric blue number. I've never seen him looking sharper either than purple. Have a look
Just do what the wardrobe people tell me to do.
You're feeling horny there, Damo.
He's got a real baby.
Very nicely done. It's been a very big year for Damien Barrett. Broke the biggest story probably of all time. So great to have you on board,
Yes.
Damo. We'll take a break.
Brought
Plenty
that one
more
from home.
Brendan Goddard still to come.
It's been horrific. If we don't learn from this situation, then the game's going to be worse for it. We found to break no AFL rules, right, in their policy. Since then, the AFL have changed their code dramatically. Well, we obviously went down a path, right, that the alarm bells should have gone up in somebody's eyes.
They warned you not to go down
They
the
warned
path.
James.
So they warned James not to go down the path. So isn't that their responsibility? I mean, they've taken care of their responsibility.
Is it? That's an issue. We actually can't tell our players what they had. I never ever thought there was a risk that we were taking prohibited substances. Essendon wasn't a good enough club to be able to manage him. That's our whole problem with the club. Like, everyone looks at Essendon as if it's this great club. I walked into Essendon, I thought, we're not a very good club.
You were quoted as saying these injections have to stop. If you felt that strongly about it, surely you needed to follow up on that.
That should have happened, and that's why we've been fined $2 million. Everyone has this perception that it was a lab, you know, people walking out with white jackets and rubber gloves and saying, come in here, it's your turn. That's not the way it happened. We should be real allies of the AFL. Like, they should have been in our camp. We were so well behaved, Caroline. It's not. No, that's not a fair comment, because we were so well behaved.
We sit here tonight on the back of a 7-month investigation, and yet
we don't know.
The players still don't know,
Yeah,
and that is why, as angry as you can be with the process and all the other things, at the end of the day, that is a failure from your footy club, and that's why we're in this position.
Yep, exactly.
It was unbelievable must-watch television on Tuesday night. In fact, the home of football, Channel 9, as Sam said, has absolutely torn it to shreds. You get your Sunday helping with Hutchie, that's unbelievable. Monday night at the new time, 9:30, must-watch Footy Classified. Been all over this whole setup and led the agenda. And then, of course, our show continues to dominate, let's be brutally honest. And next week, Paddy Dangerfield and Travis Cloak will be our special guests on the Footy Show, so make sure you stick around. As I say, on the home of football, Channel 9 game.
Yeah, it's been a very big week and been a massive week for the Essendon Footy Club. No longer a part of this year's final series. Their coach been suspended for 12 months. Brendan Goddard left the St Kilda Footy Club to join the Bombers in the hope that he'd be playing finals and perhaps having another crack at a grand final. That is not the case this year. How does he feel about it? Let's find out and welcome him. Brendan Goddard.
Hello, mate.
Thanks.
for coming in.
Hi, Beach. How are you, mate? Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You weren't obviously involved with this situation that's unfolded over the past couple of years, but you came to Essendon in a blaze of publicity with all great intentions. You sit here tonight knowing that you're not involved in the final series? How does it make you feel?
Oh, it's obviously quite gut-wrenching, and I think a few of us actually found out last week, so, really our fate, we didn't know the details of it or if it was for certain, but a few of us went into that game knowing what was probably to come, and it was obviously difficult playing that game and more so getting up for this week, but it's obviously gut-wrenching, as I said, and really deflating, to be honest.
Do you feel angry?
I was very angry last Saturday night before the game and really frustrated, but with what was to come, obviously. But
Who was your anger directed at?
I'm not quite sure. I've actually had this discussion with a number of people, but for some reason I was just really, really angry and frustrated, and the way it all was going to turn out, or my expectations or how it was going to turn out. So I don't actually know who it was directed at, but that was the state of mind I was in.
It's interesting that you knew, because we all thought that the findings were handed down at the end of last week, or I'm trying to think of the exact time.
Yeah. No, but obviously
so
when
we're going back a week and you were told that you were out of the finals.
No, we weren't told, but we expected the worst. Anticipating, you expect for the worst in those circumstances, and we did. And so it was a really difficult time to go into that game knowing, as I said, what was to come. And then to obviously perform the way we did was a real credit to the boys, but it was a difficult time.
You might be able to answer this, but the club and the AFL apparently plea bargained for some sort of deal. What sort of deal was it that they plea bargained for? What if they hadn't plea bargained? What was the next step up? They couldn't have done anything else to them,
I'm not
could
sure,
they?
Sam. I obviously wasn't involved in the deal or the conversation, so it's hard for me to comment on that.
But can I talk to you about the mood of the players through what has been an unbelievable year? I mean, regardless of what you can say about Essendon and what went on prior to this year, the way the players have been able to execute outside of 1 month during this year is quite extraordinary. For you to come from another club and have a look at the way they've gone about it, with all of this hanging over their head, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the one thing that was in their advantage is the playing group's quite young, and they're quite naive to a lot of situations. This is probably the first real serious crisis that they've had to deal with in terms of their footy life. So I think they were quite naive to it, so that actually helped them focus on what was important at the time, and that was obviously on football. So, and then it obviously got to a point where it was almost like the bubble burst. I think when that final date came out for the boys, they got quite anxious, and obviously, as we talked about, start preparing for the worst. So it got to a point where I felt like the bubble burst, and the guys just let out a sigh of relief kind of thing, and that reflected in our footy and our performances. Because as you said, I think we did a tremendous job to get in the position where we were, and then had that month where we really struggled, and struggled in second halves of games. We were in the game a lot of the time at half time, but you get to see in the boys' eyes that they just were deflated and was struggling to get through the game.
Yeah, BJ, as a senior player, mate, you're always looking for, being in a leadership position like yourself, you're always looking to keep the boys up and what the mood of the group is. Is it something you addressed on a weekly basis, or you tried to, obviously you couldn't hide from it externally, but not talk about it internally, or did you get around and have a few beers together as it brought the group closer? Have you done more things than usual this year?
Oh, there's no doubt we've made a conscious effort to do a few things socially and then within the footy club, but it got to a point where we all know it was a bit of a circus, so there was updates on a regular basis. So we actually made a commitment, I forget what round it was, to actually, if there was an update to be given, it'll be given to us on the Monday, and if there was anything significant that would actually be the boys would be told during the week. But if it was said on the Monday, we agreed that we wouldn't talk about it for the rest of the week. So that's one thing we committed to, and then, as a leadership group and as a footy club, we've done a few things socially and stuff just to try and keep the boys upbeat and stuff, as players would know. That's really important.
Brendan, if you knew what was going to happen this year at Essendon, do you think you might have stayed at St Kilda?
It's a good hypothetical, isn't it, Shane?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, what's the answer?
The supplements program was meant to improve the performance.
So that's a no? Okay.
The supplements program was meant to improve the performance of the side. Did the players, did they ever chat about they felt better and they thought that they were fitter, or did they ever discuss their form or fitness level?
No, not really. We talk about injuries were the main things that we talked about, but
did they think they were getting over their injuries better from the implementation of the supplement, or
the injury list wouldn't suggest that. So no, touched on it briefly, but I hadn't heard about, I guess, the supplement program or Stephen Dank until all this came about, to be honest.
How do they feel now? That's the bottom line. As Damien's just pointed out, there's still an uncertainty with the possibility of an infraction notice being in the future. They wake up to the paper this morning, rightly or wrongly, and read about potential horse drugs and all these sorts of things. I mean, they must still live with a great degree of uncertainty.
Oh, I think they do. But waking up this morning to something like that, I think the group's just got used to something coming out every day, and it's almost laughable, some of the things that have been said and the way we deal with it. So it's... Each person deals with it in different ways, but as a footy club, we've tended to ignore a lot of the things that have been said in the paper, and obviously trust that internally what's being told and what had been told to the boys from the club, and to this day we trusted what we've been told.
Shane just asked you a hindsight question, but you've now, going forward, you've got a club that's without its senior coach for 12 months. You're out of the draft for the next 2 years, or certainly the sharp end of it. $2 million lighter off. Well, Essendon's an unbelievably well-resourced club, so I think you can ride that one out pretty well. Some other key people in your footy club are not going to be there for a while. How do you feel about the future?
Oh, there's a lot, at the time, or at this time, there's a lot of uncertainties, no doubt. But the club's in a great position, and they've got great people that are there currently to be able to restructure the place and get people. Obviously, as you said, there's going to be people that aren't present in the next 12 months, but to get other people in that they're going to fill a role and do the job. And then it's our responsibility as players and the current staff and the assistant coaches in Matty Egan, Simon Goodwin, Sean Wellman, that have been outstanding in this whole situation. And then those guys, and along with, it goes all the way through the boot side. Everyone's going to have to take a little bit more responsibility in the situation and get through it as one and as a footy club, because that's the only thing we can do.
BJ, we know that Hurdy can't be involved officially with the club, but is he allowed to talk to your players over the next 12 months?
As a friend he can, yeah. But Hurdy, I don't think it's known, but Hurdy came in this morning at the permission of the AFL to chat to the boys before training and had a brief chat and said that he'd love to obviously be involved, but he obviously can't. But he'll chat to us as friends and still have a keen eye on us, because, as he mentioned, that the Essendon Footy Club has been his life, and that it will continue to be. So he can't take any role as a coach in that capacity, but he's certainly a friend to a lot of us and will continue to be.
Well, BJ, your own form has been extraordinary. Can I ask you how you're going to get up for this game as a group? But let's take a look at it first. You take on the Tigers, who have been unbelievable themselves. In fifth spot, here come the Bombers, of course. The players have come out of their side. You've got Hill coming back in, which is a great story. Lovett Murray coming back in, which is a great story. Two players who are going to retire at the end of the year but have been wonderful servants, Kavanagh and Jetta. And look at Goddard, 156 points. Is that one of the Tigers? Jack Greenwald, as Gav said, not playing. Edwards is out suspended. Tuck is a retiree. Shane Tuck has had a very good career. Stephenson also. And they are the players coming back in for the Tigers. Shane?
The Bombers have been great all year, but the Roar is back in at Tigerland. I reckon they're going to win this week, and they're going to win their first final next week.
Yeah, I think Richmond have got a little bit too much to play for, so I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, I actually think Essendon have got a good record this year in the big games. This is obviously a blockbuster, even though it's a dead rubber. I think they can get the job done. If Mickey Hurley can kick a few goals, and with Jack Greenwald out, they might just kick a winning score and get over the line.
Of course, how do you see this one playing itself out? Extraordinary circumstance.
Completely non-game, Gary. I don't even know why Essendon are going to turn up. Maybe to placate their sponsors. If it was me, mate, I'd get them on a bus and I'd take them to Dalesford on the weekend. I wouldn't bother turning up, mate.
Your advice would be not to show up at all.
Not to show up at all.
What about the 500,000 fans and the 50,000 who'll get along to the game and support their club?
Well, they can go along and watch Richmond do a bit of circle work or something. No, it's a non-game and it's irrelevant. Couldn't care less.
All right. I might tip the Tigers as well, but who would know exactly what's going to happen now? Before we let you go, Beach, this could our way. Speaking of the Bombers, for a bit of levity, Matthew Lloyd, our colleague on Footy, classified in the Sunday Footy Show. He's made it into Women's Day.
glossy.
Like a real sort of sex symbol dad setup. I'm not sure whether that's going to be
What's the
that.
singlet doing, Gary?
I think it was a photo about the hottest dads, and he came out in the shirt and said, "Go back and put a singlet on." That's the sledgehammer.
That's the velvet.
Yeah.
Dane, I don't want to usurp your authority. Could he join the Rat Pack? He's only got a week of the season to go. Would you? Does he have to have a sleeve full of ink, or can he just get in on his what?
If he wants to come and play for us for the next 5 weeks, absolutely.
Well, we're interested, Force, just the odd eye on the running sheet at work. We're interested in the Lloydie photo in the Women's Day because not the only time one of our panellists has appeared in a glossy magazine. Here's Shane Crawford. None of us know why this was taken or...
That was halfway across
That was
the
a long
nullable.
time ago. If we're going to play this game, well, I've got a photo of Jim here in his nice tracksuit. Which one's the girl, Jim? I've got one of Gary. Have a look at Gary here, having a few wines. Have a look at hairy Gary. And I've got one of you, Foss. Have a look at this for a jumper. Have a look at that. You hit that yourself. Your old fossil.
Hey, BJ, before we let you go, Mark Thompson, probably in the box seat, the coach for the year. Would you be happy with that?
Yeah, if, as Joe mentioned tonight, Damien was out the back hitting me up already. But yeah, look, if he's willing to commit to it full time, and
do you think there's a doubt about that?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it, does it?
A doubt? Well, as Joe said, he obviously came to the club because he didn't want to be a senior coach. So,
No, that's
and then as an assistant, there's less commitment, less time needed at the footy club. So if he's willing to do that and only he can answer that, then the boys will have him with open arms.
Now, Brendan, if you knew what was going to happen at Essendon this year, would you have stayed at St Kilda? Give us an answer, come on.
Is there an echo in here? Is there?
Can I ask you?
That's the no again.
One more.
That's a no again. I'll give up.
What happens if they get suspended, the players, like whatever it's called, a WADA or soda? What happens if you're the only bloke there that is actually playing? I mean, if they
there'll be a few. The first year of some last year, Nick Comer.
Oh, so it'd be 6 people
We'll have a
playing.
pretty young team, yeah.
Yeah, so there'd be 6 here taking on some side. Now, have they discussed what's going to happen to the club if the worst comes to the worst? No, and we haven't even visited that.
No, we haven't, because there's no reason
That'd
to
be
do that.
an almighty disaster if that was the case, Samuel, so I'm not sure any contingency would be in place for that. Hey, it's very, very good of him to come along on what's been a really difficult week. Good luck on the weekend, BJ. Enjoy the off-season. Billy Goddard, join us on the Footy Show. We'll take a break. Plenty more still to come.
Show, and also welcome our James Boats team of the week. In the audience tonight, Melbourne High School, Old Boys and the Kyneton Football Club. They're in there, well done. And don't forget, James Boats Draft are donating $1,000 to our panellists, local footy club, and Dane Swan, you get $1,000. Where do you want it to go?
Sit in my pocket, be nice. Absolutely. Local footy club, yeah, West Meadows.
Okay, well, there you go, West Meadows. Congratulations, you get $1,000. All right, here we go, straight into it. It's time for Almost Footy Legends, and we have a good look at a specky here. There's a big crowd, local footy, Bundura up nice and high over the top. And in front of the hot dog van, beautiful. Right in front of the crowd. Brownie, what
Here
have
we go, Crawford. We've got another specky. Northcote Park versus Heidelberg. Huge mark here.
Happy
Up
with
we
that
go
crowd?
again, have a look. Higher than Joe Cocker.
Keep going, mate. What else have we
Here
got?
we go, this is the best one. St Burns versus De La Salle. Have a look at this big fella.
Caught with the
Little
footy.
fella jumps on him back.
He's run off with it.
Away he goes.
Hey.
Hold the ball.
That's how you do it.
Mind you, that'd be played on in the AFL under the current rules, Craw.
Well done. Well, I think we know what the crowd love. Which one did you like?
Well, it's quite obvious, mate. The third. We'll go with the crowd.
Okay, which one do we like? We're not number one, the nice high mark? No. Number two? What about number three? All right, number three, you have won this.
Thanks to James Bogue's draft, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up receive $500 each. Sponsoring over 150 local clubs, James Bogue's draft is a proud supporter of grassroots footy. At the end of the year, our runner-up pockets $20,000 cash thanks to Deep Heat, providing fast, temporary relief from muscle aches and strains.
Deep Heat
is the stuff of legends. Thanks to our great friends at Home Timber and Hardware, our major prize winner takes home a mega toolbox full of $40,000 cash. That's going to come in handy for that renovation you always wanted. So if you want to do it right, go where the tradies go, Home Timber and Hardware.
Send your entries, please, to Almost Footy Legends, GPO Box 9, Melbourne 3001. And don't forget, you can now upload your legends directly to the website footyshow.com.au. Harry Gary.
Hey, it's only a couple of weeks ago to get your entries in. We had a winner a couple of years ago who was, I think, in the last 2 weeks of the year. So make sure you get your entries in. The greatest prize in footy. Geelong take on Brisbane on Saturday. Cats go there for second on the ladder. Dealt with Sydney by 44 points. Trent West comes in. Nathan Vardy goes out. Managed. They're flying. Stevie Motlop with 3. Stevie J with 4. Matty Stokes has had a fantastic year. They win. They finish in the top 2. Brisbane need to win to keep their very slim. Finals hopes alive. Beat the Dogs by 7 points last week. They've made 3 changes. Maloney, Lyle and Michael come in. Merritt, Paparone and Doherty go out of the side. Tommy Rockcliffe's had a fantastic year. It would be one of the upsets of the year. Let's not forget Brisbane rattled home and beat Geelong earlier in the year. I don't know if they can do it down there, Brown Dog.
It's going to be tough down there. We haven't won since 2003. And obviously Geelong will be fine up because they want to hold on to second spot so they don't have to travel to Perth next week, but we're a slim chance of making the finals, and the boys are pumped up and ready to go.
Swanee, who do you like, mate?
Yeah, I think Geelong are going to win this. Would have thought.
Yeah, I think the Cats will win. And talking of the Cats, last week we had champion racehorse trainer Peter Moody on the show, and a lot of people sent in that he looked a lot like Neil Baum. So we thought, hang on, let's split screen it and see what we think. What do you reckon, Gary?
That's Pete who went with the wig that we had going. He's bald.
Oh, really?
He's as bald as the badger, but very much like Neil Baum. Who are you liking, Force? The Cats just hanging on? Is this a non-game or not?
Well, it's not a non-game because Geelong are trying to hold on to second spot.
I see.
It's completely irrelevant otherwise.
All right.
Completely irrelevant.
I'm going to go for the Cats, Brownie. But what I do need to do... We're very, very happy to plug this event. Casey Tatungi, who we've all seen heartbreaking stories being heard and felt across the country. There's a fundraising concert coming up. It's still crucial to support this 28-year-old in receiving the care required after his horrific footy accident and resulting spinal injury. Now, Simon Daly, he has rallied in a big, big way.
Music industry giant.
He is. A show for Casey concert at Simmons Stadium on Sunday, 29th of September from 1 o'clock. That's after the Granny Gym, so a great way to unwind.
Gary, $50. If you look at this lineup, 150 wouldn't get you in. UMI, Regurgitator, Lisa Mitchell, the Bamboos, Paul Dempsey from Something for Kate. If you're under 12, you get in for nothing, of course, and all proceeds go to the Casey Tatungi appeal. For tickets, go to ashowforcasey.com.au. You'd go anyway for $50 because it's extraordinary value. Simmons Stadium holds plenty of people, so there'll be tickets everywhere.
The Cats could be on the back of a premiership. They may very well have won the grand final the day before and wandered down to that.
Couldn't be a better reason to go along.
Well done to them. Jim, another big game coming up.
Yes, let's take a look at this one. The Western Bulldogs in Melbourne. The Dogs won 3 of their last 5 and have been very, very, very good in recent times. You can see the changes there. Well done to Adam Cooney, re-signing. Well done to Daniel G. and Syracuse, who's playing game number 250 and has had an unbelievable journey. And a great season as well. Melbourne. Rory Taggart comes in for the D's. And, they've swung the changes down there. Old Rexy Sellers comes back in. Bit Gorney, Taggart, Jetta, Bale. You can see all the numbers there. And... well done. Before I get the thoughts of everyone, quickly, well done to Daniel Cross. He's finishing his time at the Dogs, but has been a wonderful player and a very good man. So, well done to him. Shane?
I've loved the second half of the Bulldogs. They've been very good. The D's, unfortunately, won't make the finals this year, Gary. There's always next year, maybe the year after that. But I'm going for the Dogs to have a really good end of the season.
Yeah, I think nightclubs will be the big winner in this one. They're both done, so they'll both be trying to stay out of each other's way and not get injured because they've got a big couple of days ahead. So, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, Bulldogs will win this one. They're pretty good in the second half against us last week.
Come on, Melbourne beat the Western Bulldogs.
Of course they did,
They
Gary.
did.
Well, what year was that?
About 8 weeks ago.
2 honest sides battling for 4 points, genuinely, no...
Genuine match?
Genuine match. This, I know it's the minor side, but, you know, two genuine sides trying to
Who are
slug
you
it out
tipping?
rather than get in by stealth.
And
what?
Who are you tipping?
Well, the Western Bulldogs, if they were battling to get into the 8 on repechage, they'd give someone a bit of a hurry up too.
Yeah, they would. They're going very nicely. Well done to Aaron Davey, who also has announced his retirement. Yes. The Doggies might just win. And Rory Taggart, if he plays his first game, that'd be great. We're going to take a break. After the break, we've still got Street Talk. We're going to pay tribute to Kevin Sheedy. That's next.
Oh, yeah.
Essendon winning their first flag since 1965. Essendon Rangers from 1985, winning 2 in a row. Another coaching triumph for Kevin Sheedy. Look at Kevin Sheedy!
Kevin Sheedy, all the very best, but the Gold Coast Suns, in what's been a good season for them, will win this match, Dane.
Yeah, just congratulations to Dean Brogan, who's retired for the 4th time or something like that. So, yeah, obviously had a pretty good career, but I think the Gold Coast will get it in there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting feeling. The Suns will win this one, but the Giants boys will be doing everything they can to get Jeremy Cameron over the line for the Coleman.
4 behind Ruffy at the moment. Samuel?
And to get Kevin over the line.
Yep.
Final go out, bow out, Gary, with a bit of a
Style.
win. Quarter of a century, Coach Destin. It's unreal, isn't it?
How many people do you reckon will be there, Sammy?
Pardon?
How many people do you reckon will be there on Sunday for this game?
I would say it'd be a bumper crowd, Johnny. No, it wouldn't be. How many do you think? A handful?
Probably, they might get 10.
A winner, Force?
A winner. No, these two genuine sides trying to fight
Well, they're all
legitimately.
genuine sides.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
3 of them aren't.
No, they
No,
are.
three games.
Just a
aren't.
winner.
Yeah, the Gold Coast.
Gold
yeah.
Coast for me too, Force. Right, let's go to St Kilda and Fremantle. This has also got a little bit riding on it. This is out Saturday at Etihad Stadium. The Saints, just the 4 wins, so they'd like to go out. Ray Cossey's playing his last game. Roman and Lee come in, Chet Nunes and Murdoch being omitted. There's going to be a lot of emotion here because one of our favourites not playing. Freo, 3rd on the 16 wins, 3 losses and a draw. What about this? They have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 changes. Did you hear that? 10 changes they've made, Fremantle. Unprecedented move by Ross Lyon. Keep your side fresh. Now, what we need to do is acknowledge, first of all, Justin Kazitsky,
Yes.
Stephen Milne,
Temperate.
and Jason Blake,
Big
who
shake
are
and Blake.
all retiring after wonderful careers. So well done to those boys. 200 games to Crosby, 200 games to Adam Schneider. 10 changes, Shane, for
Yeah,
Freo.
no, well done to those boys from St Kilda. I like what Ross Lyon's doing. He's just getting them ready for the very first final, possibly against the Cats. Rested them up. They want to obviously win this match, but the Saints have got a lot to play for, but they won't beat Fremantle. And Ross Lyon's side, shutting down his old side, St Kilda. So it should be a nice send-off for the boys.
I think those 10 who just came into the side, they'll be trying to stay in for finals, so that they might have something to prove, and I think they'll win.
Yes, big round dog.
I think obviously Ross Lyon's not too keen on Brisbane Lions' chance of beating Geelong this week. Otherwise, he wouldn't be resting 10 blokes. But I'm sure they, as I say, Swanee, those blokes want to come in and get a final spot, so they'll beat the Saints.
Force?
Daniel?
Yeah. 66 goals in the last 3 weeks, Fremantle have kicked. 66 goals in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, dear me.
People think they
Oh,
can't
that's-
kick goals.
Would you think of coming up to Kokoda with us, Dane? Give JZ the arse and come up, walk up there, Gary and I, 10 days up to Kokoda. Would you think of it? You could be a pack. You could be the Kokoda pack up there.
Very, very slight possibility. But,
In the thongs, just wander up and get the Catman do thongs.
That's right.
How do you reckon you'll go, Sammy? I've done the Kokoda track.
How hard was it, Brad?
It was real hard. We did it in about 4.5 days.
I
And
said to Sam, you've got to start training. We're going to meet this fellow who said, we just want to make sure you're training. He said, you go to the meeting and tell him I've been walking since I was 2. that was his response to the amount of training.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't do some training.
It is
Brownie
tough.
said it's very hard.
it's very tough, mate. And I went to the toilet about 15 times in the last day too. And I hadn't eaten.
Okay, that's
St Kilda Fremantle, Force?
I'm sure my bottom will work. I don't think that'll be any problem.
snakes, big snakes.
Yeah, Fremantle. Yeah, Fremantle.
Freo for me.
Then to get to a break, Street Talk. Speaking of St Kilda, from Ackland Street, that's coming up next.
like watching your show about funny stuff and caring about all the mothers, all the daughters, and all the girls in the world. And Street Talk should mostly be about families, the fathers, the sons, and the love between ourselves, and comedy.
We've wandered down Ackland Street a few times over the years.
I reckon this country is shit.
Excuse me, I haven't got my teeth in. I know you're Sam Newman.
Keeps.
Now, piss off.
But just like Essendon's plea bargain, I'm offering residents of Ackland Street a deal. If they explain to me why I shouldn't come back, I won't.
Oh, no, don't worry, we're not speaking to you.
Piss off.
I'll ask you a question, right? Have you had any work done? Come on, let's be honest.
This is us here, the Footy show.
Oh, the footy.
Do you follow?
No.
I won't come down Ackland Street again if you give us a good reason why I shouldn't come down.
It's too many prostitutes, mate.
Give us a good reason why I shouldn't come down Ackland Street again.
Yeah, you're a little tall for this street.
I'll give you an offer you refuse. Would
Actually,
you?
give me an offer I can't refuse. Can you find my son for me, please?
No.
What are you?
It's just out
No, there he is, over there. Okay, talk to me.
Now, Lee, do you ever follow St Kilda?
Piss off.
It is the best area. Ackland Street is the street that's pumping. It's like the AFL.
I'm f***ing Aussie as well.
Did you say you're from Austria, though?
But I am Österreichischer as well, so I like to speak in my accent, and then you could do Australian ones.
Yeah.
When any hot chicks are there.
Yeah, so g'day, how you going?
We've got a lot of time now, we f***ing don't. Hello, my dear. Going. Austria's brilliant.
Go, Bombers!
We'll show you the fast way to say hello, which is exactly that.
I'm not, mate.
Well, they're not in the finals and they can't get in.
Well, neither are they. Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
I've got more percentage, mate.
No. You mark my words. They'll be playing finals.
Who?
Essendon.
The club will forfeit its place in the 2013 AFL Final Series.
Get a good look at this man. He says they'll definitely be playing finals football. Look down there, sir. This is the face of a man who's...
Final.
Right?
Yep, absolutely.
Final.
Finals.
It will not play in the 2013 Final Series.
Because I'm f***ing rude boy, mate.
Rude boy? Why, since when?
You know, every single girl in the entire area loves me with their full heart and their full everything because I'm that good.
Look, I'm too old for you, I'm 48.
Last time I saw you at the Crown, I said to you, I got a question for you. You go, what's the question?
Well, could I repeat that particular question now? What is the question?
I don't know what the question was now.
Man's an imbecile. It's good if things come from your heart, not from just your brain.
Okay, darling,
Right.
give me your number.
No. Let's cut to the chase here. Just listen to me.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I played my 300th game on the bench. I started off on the bench. Why, I don't know, because I was a star.
Yeah.
And I didn't get much of a send-off like Blake or Kajitsky or Milne are going to. So if I run past here, could you pretend I'm running onto the ground and give me some words of encouragement?
Yes. The mark's on me. Go, man. There he goes. Look at him go.
Get the f*** off the field. You should only deserve to be on the bench, mate. If you only stopped going out with chicks half your age, you would save yourself so much grief.
So much money.
Do you have any daughters of your own?
Get that on tape. Thanks, fella.
Thank you to the people of Ackland Street, beautiful part of Melbourne, of course. Let's get stuck into this last game. If the Blues win, yibbida, they're in against Port Adelaide. Big task though at AAMI Stadium. Port have been fantastic this year. There are the changes, and Lobie has been a very, very good ruckman. And, geez, they've got some good players this year. Trav Boak has been sensational. Of course, we had him on this show recently. As we swing across to the Blues, must win. Let's see how they go. Interstate against a good opponent. Walker's a big in. Cruiser's a big in. Garlett and Ellard. So they're looking very, very good. Shane, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking the Blues will play finals for 2013. Now, can I just tell you, the August money back special from our mates at sportsbet.com.au continues for the final round of the home and away season. If your first goal scorer selection doesn't kick a goal, Sportsbet will give you your money back up to $100. They've already refunded a massive $120,000 to punters with this offer. How good is that? Now, conditions apply. Visit sportsbet.com.au for details, and please gamble responsibly. Thank you very much.
Right, who's going to win, Swanee?
Yeah, let's hope Jeffy Gallo isn't driving the bus so he can't find a car park. But if they manage to turn up, I still think Port will probably just get him.
Really?
Beautiful. Yeah, Carlton got more to play for and got some big inclusions. I think the Blues will get into the final.
All right, what about the enforcer?
Can I join the Rat Pack now, mate?
If you get a tattoo.
Hey?
If you get a tattoo, you can.
If you get a tattoo, you're in.
Yeah.
Go on.
One.
Can you get one?
Let me do it on you.
What?
Let me just do a tattoo, a proper one on you.
What would it be of, Dave?
Oh, we'll make something up.
Or a signature. It's getting very
I don't know,
common
something,
now
I don't
that
know.
you can
Well,
sign.
You going to get
I'm
one?
Not, I'm not much of an artist, but...
Has JZ got any or any of them?
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Swanee said if he can give you a tattoo, you'll be in the pack. What
Well,
about it?
We've got it.
Well, put it this way, Force. If the Maggies aren't in the grand final, on
Yeah.
grand final show night, Swanee could just give you a little one somewhere and then you're in
With
the
that
pack.
thing
for
that go
good.
drrrr
That's
on
it.
the ink.
Just a little one.
You
What
can
about it?
get your premiership tattoo on your ankle. Oh, you didn't play it, mate.
Go on, quickly. Grand final footy show, a little one from Swanee if he's not playing, and then it's all over. What about it?
Yeah, come on,
A little one. Before we head off on the Kokoda track.
Who's going to win this game?
Fuzzy wuzzy on your
This is a non-game.
No,
deal.
it isn't.
No, couldn't
Very,
be less
very
interested in
important.
it.
Right,
No,
I think Sport will win, which means your game will be alive, Jimmy. I heard you and Samuel refer to Channel 9 as a home of footy. Well, that is even more so the case, because over the next 3 weeks, Channel 9 will be reliving some of the most memorable grand finals in history, and we're premiering a brand new series, AFL's Final Story documentaries. These are incredible. I've had a sneak peek. The series gives an unbelievable insight into 3 of the great grand finals, and for Melbourne viewers, it all kicks off next Thursday night after the footy show. We're going to start next week with the 1980 Richmond versus Collingwood. So that's next Thursday night. And I'm telling you, if you're a fan of footy, this will take you to places that you've not been before. In the weeks to come, we're going to look at St Kilda's only premiership from 1966, speak to all the major players in this, and then the 1989 classic between Hawthorn and Geelong finishes it off. A guy called Peter Dixon does this, who is absolutely unbelievably talented, and you won't want to miss it. It kicks off next week after footy show, and as we go to the break, here's a sneak peek of what's to come.
We're thanks to Nissan Navara, Home Timber and Hardware and sportsbet.com.au. Great friends of the Footy Show, thanks for their support. Now, Father's Day on Sunday, and I'll tell you what, there have been some good breeders along this table. So, Garrett, you have 4, Shane?
I do have 4.
Now, 2?
2, mate.
2 already for Brownie, 3 and
How
4.
many you got?
Sam, 3 that he knows about.
Yeah, one of each.
And, of course, Father's Day Appeal, the Alfred, do amazing work. This is an incredible place. You can donate to Father's Day Appeal. Treats about 500,000 patients every year. Many are men, and many come because of heart problems. Donations to the appeal will go towards redeveloping the cardiac unit at the Alfred and help save many more lives. There's the number, there's the website. Get stuck into that and give generously.
Very good, and we have our baggy blue. We love having Dane Swan on the show. 202. Congratulations.
That's it, Swanee.
We want you to come back. It's been great having you. Put it on, go on. Wear it. Take it to Amsterdam. They'll love it. There you go.
Overseas. Great to have Dane Swan stay with us short notice. Good luck to Jackie Revolt. Hope the back gets better. Brownie, just have the rest of the year off.
Yeah, Olivia and Jack get the presents ready for Sunday.
Exactly right. Well done to you, Shane. Force, what do you got?
What do you got there?
I'm in, I reckon. I've managed to...
Get some tattoos?
I'm going down to Home
Some
Timber
ink?
and Hardware for Father's Day and buy a ratchet.
Beautiful.
And we're
You
going
don't
out...
buy your own present. Get one of your boys to buy it for you.
And then we're going out to Calder on Monday to drive the Nissan GTR.
Oh, yes. I'll be in the Nissan Navara. Jimmy, you have a lovely Father's Day. Good luck to the
Go the
Kangaroos.
Kangas.
We'll see you next Thursday night at 8:30. Good luck.